Thank you for having me. Good afternoon to you.
All right, if you can hear me, Ali, kindly tell us how you think the commencement of local petrol production at the Dangote Refinery will affect Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves and also balance of payments in the short and long term.
Well, it is quite expected that a gigantic factory like Dangote
Ali, can you unmute your
Petrochemical
device, please?
it is unmuted. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Please go ahead, yes.
Right. It is expected that a gigantic industry like Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical will bring in more forex. The fact remains that you will recall that to buy petroleum product PMS, we need dollars to actually purchase it or any other foreign currency. But now that we have it now, it's going to reduce the level at which we request for dollar. You agree with me also that what we buy most and that we buy in bigger quantity or in bigger trucks or ship, it is petrol PMS. So Dangote coming into Nigeria is going to help to balance the balance of payments and balance of trade to an extent.
Okay. Now, what about the cost savings, for the Nigerian economy due to reduced petrol importation? How do you think this would influence inflation, and also fuel prices?
Right. You agree with me that majorly we are to what we're supposed to buy the petrol pump price. And that's why government always coming to really pushing the effect. However, because NNPC is so importer, we may not actually see the difference that much. But the fact remains that if our own refinery is also working, that would have killed the cost of transportation. And cost of transportation actually make things very expensive because when you are paying for that cost of transportation, you pay in dollars, you pay in foreign currency. And that is why producing in Nigeria would have solved a lot of, and it also have a long time advantage because of the supply chain. The supply chain of international importation has been reduced now to now remain domestic movement of petroleum produce. I think it significantly is going to reduce the cost of bringing petroleum products to Nigeria.
All right, now let's look at the historical challenges, in Nigeria's downstream oil sector. What operational risks or obstacles could the Dangote Refinery face in maintaining consistent production and also supply?
Well, first and foremost, in that area, I like to make sure that we have extra correction. It is very wrong for NNPC to be coming up to determine the price of petroleum products. It is expected that it should be NMDPRA that should be in charge of that. So I will first and foremost advise that NNPC should allow NMDPR to work with downstream and upstream to determine how much we actually cost in it. I think by the time we solve that problem, Dangote would have a breathing space. Really, I knew that Dangote as well. If you recall, when he was asked about cost of his own PMS, he said he's waiting for FEC and he's also waiting for NNPC. That clearly shows that maybe Dangote wants to sell at international price. And as of now, international price is 1,117 naira when you convert it. And Dangote know for sure that Nigeria will find it, but that's why he's calling on them to push in the effect. So I think they should allow markets to really take its place by opening that area, even for marketers to go outside and bring it, because when there is no competition, it becomes a problem. So I think NNPC should allow competition, healthy competition, to really determine the cost of if government really want to hands up.
Okay, so but how do we put this into context, considering that NNPC came out, a few days ago saying that the market has been deregulated and they don't fix prices?
Well, I think they are just like I say, they have truth, because for Dangote to have said he needed them to determine how much he would sell, that simply shows that there's a kind of a caveat. And remember that federal government also have stake in the Dangote Refinery. They want to sell crude oil to him in naira. They also have share in Dangote refinery and petrochemical. So because of that, there's still that romance between them. So, but for me, I think there should be they should open it up whereby every marketer can actually trade with it as because if you allow them to say to be the sole import seller of crude, petroleum, it's sometimes the advantage of monopoly may bring a negative externalities to Nigerians.
All right, now there's news that the Warri and Kaduna refinery would soon be privatized, and looking at Dangote Refinery as well. How do you think that local production of petrol at the Dangote Refinery will influence, competition within Nigeria's oil and gas sector? Especially about other local refineries or even potential entrants.
Right. In as much as most of us are looking at federal government and their promise to bring about refinery with cautious optimism, whereby we are saying that, okay, until we see it happen, because it has been reoccurring that they will promise it will come up, even National Assembly even also at times said to come up. We are expecting last year, December, March, this year, up to now, we have not seen it work. However, if it's working, they want to privatize. They should not privatize it and sell it and privatize it to Dangote. It should be an independent business person who will also run its own so that there will be healthy competition. But I will agree that sometimes we need to privatize because since 1999, since this Fourth Republic, they have not really done anything meaningful on that refinery. So I think if they cannot handle it, they can give it to a private organization. But the thing is, you recall that Dangote is a businessman who wants to maximize profit. Dangote will also tell you that he borrowed money to build this refinery. I need to recoup its money. So if you ask Dangote to determine price without bringing competition, or you allow him to be the sole or monopoly, or you sell the other refinery to him, that means you are giving everything to him, and that will give him power of monopoly. And power of monopoly simply means it will determine the price it to be sold in the market.
All right, so just before we let you go, let's compare this, with the cement industry, with Boa and Dangote being at the helm of affairs as well. One would actually think that, with local production and everything, that the prices of cement will drastically reduce. But what we're seeing now is something totally different. So how would you compare this with that of the oil?
Right. If you look at the antecedent, I will go to memory lane or we'll go to historical perspective. You will see that even when Dangote came into cement, we could see that most other cement, I don't want to mention them, have actually went moribund simply because he has a power behind him that is more than other competitors. If you look at even sugar, look at other things he has hands in. He just came into oil and look at what's also happening. So it is not only Dangote, it's not a Dangote issue. It's an issue of a private business owner who want to make profit. It's only the government that can control it, by opening it up to negate monopoly or by finding a way to make sure that there's healthy competition. If not, Dangote will continue to sell at the price they actually wanted. If you now compare us to other countries that have oil, countries like Libya, like Iraqi, Saudi Arabia, you discover that they are actually enjoying buying fuel at a very low rate simply because they have a refinery of their own that is refining their crude within their country and they're selling it. So that's what we expect. Government should find a way to make sure that our own full refinery is working. I think that will bring healthy competition.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Aliyu, for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.